Hello everyone, Board Game Lawyer here, and welcome to Monday Night Marvel. Tonight I'm going to play some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And so let's get down to the table and see what I'm going to be playing with here this evening. So tonight I decided to play with one of the newest heroes in the game, and that is Lucas Bishop. We're going to be playing with Bishop tonight. So a little bit about Bishop. He has a recovery of 4. In his alter ego form, he's a mutant and he's temporal. And he has a special ability which is temporally displaced response. After you change this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. And let's flip him over and take a look at his other side. So we'll see that in his hero form that he has a thwart of 2, an attack of 2, 1 defense, and he's in Temporal X-Men, which has energy absorption, which is a response. After Bishop takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck, and add each resource card discarded this way to your hand. So Bishop has a lot of synergy with the resource cards, which I think it's really neat that they decided to explore that component of the game, the resource cards. So we'll flip him back over into his alter ego form. That's how he's going to begin the game today. Let's take a look at the villain he's going to take on, and that is the Juggernaut. Juggernaut says that he gets +1 attack for each momentum counter on him. We'll learn more about those later. And it says, when revealed, place 1 momentum counter here and give Juggernaut a tough status card. So you'll see that not only does he have a scheme of 1 and an attack of 2, and that he gets a momentum counter whenever he does attack, that he also begins the game with a momentum counter on him, which he has, and a tough status card. All right, let's look at his main scheme. What's he all about? So we're going to be using Juggernaut 1 and 2 today, and because we're just going to be playing in Standard. And we've got Juggernaut, Hope Summers in the Standard Encounter set, and 1 Modular Encounter set, and that is Black Tom Cassidy that's recommended, so we've taken that out. And instead we replaced it with the Savage Land, which has an environment that comes out into play in setup. We'll look at that shortly here. But anyway, let's take a look and see here. It says it's setup, attach Juggernaut's helmet to Juggernaut, put Hope Summers into play under the first player's control. So here is our helmet. Juggernaut's helmet is a permanent attached to Juggernaut. Juggernaut gains Stalwart and his attacks gain Overkill. Hero action, spend 3 resources of the same type to remove each momentum counter from Juggernaut, and you can flip this card. So that is the advantage to having the helmet on, and that's how he begins at the beginning of the game. So let's just go ahead and take a look then at Hope Summers, which is another component that begins out on the table, and this belongs to me. So she is an ally who has a thwart of star and attack of star. The star says Hope Summers' base thwart and base attack are equal to the base thwart and base attack of your hero. And it says if Hope Summers leaves play, the players lose the game. We've got to protect Hope in this one. And she does not count toward my ally limit, which that's great. Okay, so that's Hope Summers. Let's flip over our main scheme to the other side, side 7A, and it has a whole list of things that happen. So it has a forced interrupt, which says when the scheme would be completed, and it threats out at 7, so it's not very much. Instead, do each of the following. Remove all threat from here. If Juggernaut Exposed is in play, flip it. Place 1 momentum counter on Juggernaut, and Juggernaut attacks each player in player order, even if they are in alter ego form. So that's dangerous, him threading out in alter ego form. So again, another nice design space that the designers decided to pick on. He begins with 1 threat on him already, so it doesn't take much to get him up to that 7. Let's see if we can prevent that. The last thing that we need to look at is that environment that's a setup. It says the villain gains retaliate, so that's terrible. That the Juggernaut has that much, can have that much of an attack. And the special says to discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. When revealed, discard each other setting environment in play. Alright, so that's the setup for Bishop versus Juggernaut in the Savage Land. Let's see what's going to happen here. So let's look at our hand first. So we have Honorary X-Men, which is great because we can add that to Hope Summers. We've got Strength and we got Energy. We've got an Honorary X-Men Supercharged and Stored Energy. And I kind of like this hand because I can, we want to try to, spend the 3 resources of the same type to remove momentum counter from Juggernaut, and we've got that in strength right now. Strength, we got 3 fist icons there. Let's make sure we got enough to do everything else we want. So we've got 4 resources that we could use for supercharged, and we've got an honorary X-Men that can be played for free on Hope Summers, which is what I think really needs to happen. So yeah, so we're going to begin by placing honorary X-Men. I'm not going to mulligan. I'm just going to keep everything the way it is, and we will move her to the front. So now, with her honorary X-Men ability, it says play only if your identity has an X-Men trait. Well, I needed to flip over in order to do that because he needs to be an X-Men, so Bishop does. So honorary X-Men says play only if your identity has the X-Men trait attached to a friendly character, max 1 per character. Attached character gets +1 hit point and gains the X-Men trait. So Hope Summers, let's see. We do need to probably knock the momentum counter off. Yeah, spend 3 resources of the same type, remove each momentum counter from Juggernaut, and flip this card over. Yeah, so we'll do that. We're going to spend these 3 resources here, strength, and the honorary X-Men, the 3 fist resources, to remove momentum counters from Juggernaut. And then we're going to flip this card over. All right, there we go. So now it says that an attachment attached to Juggernaut. Juggernaut gains Stalwart and his attacks gain Overkill. I'm sorry, let's read Juggernaut exposed. So permanent attached to Juggernaut. Juggernaut takes 1 additional damage from each card with a printed mental resource. Force response after Juggernaut schemes, place one momentum counter on Juggernaut and flip this card. Alright, good. So his hat has been knocked off. We're going to discard these resources. Supercharged is an upgrade. It says, let's put it on the table. It says an action, discard a resource card from your hand. Place 1 charge counter here for each resource icon on that card. And then it says hero interrupt when you make a basic attack. Discard supercharge and you get +2 attack for this attack for each charge counter here to a maximum of +8. So I do have 4 resources in my hand, so I can spend stored energy and energy to put 4 counters onto supercharged. And we'll discard these resources here. We need to keep in mind that he does have retaliate, and I do think that we definitely need to knock that tough off. I don't think I have anything that's got piercing. After Bishop takes any amount of damage from attack, discard equal number of cards. So no, nothing there. You get +8 for the attack, but it does not have piercing. And Hope Summers does not have piercing. She does have a mental resource. So we are going to exhaust Hope Summers to knock that tough off of Juggernaut, which I think really needs to happen. So by doing so, though, she does take 1 retaliate damage. So we're going to put 1 damage into Hope Summers. And she doesn't take any consequential damage according to her card here. So she's just going to take that 1 retaliate. And then we are going to use the supercharge. We're going to exhaust Bishop, and we're going to spend a base attack, discard supercharge. You get +2 for attack for each charge counter here to a maximum of 8. And it does have a mental resource on it. So, but it says a maximum of 8. +2 attack for this. Okay, so that has nothing to do, maximum of +8, with the mental resource, I don't think. So there's going to be 8, 9, 10, 11 damage that we put into Juggernaut, which will take him down to 7. I do need to take 1 retaliate because we are in the Savage Land and the villain gains that. So we're going to discard supercharged. And I think we're going to end our turn. We'll advance the phase, draw up some cards. So what do we get? We got the Command Authority, which is remove 3 threat from a scheme if you paid for this event with a resource card. Draw 1 card. We got Bishop's Rifle, which is great. We got another Honorary X-Men. We got Malcolm. And we've got Sunfire. That's our hand going into our next turn, hopefully. So we will place 1 threat on the main scheme. Juggernaut's going to attack us. And it says Juggernaut gets +1 attack for each momentum counter here. And how do we get momentum counters? I think it's his helmet. Let me flip over and make sure. Yeah, it says that he gets Stalwart and Overkill with his helmet on. Juggernaut gets +1 attack for each momentum counter here. And alright, so he doesn't have any momentum counters right now. So Juggernaut is going to attack Bishop. We're going to allow that to happen. And he's going to hit him for, looks like 2 + 1, 3 damage into Bishop. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. That's what he's going to hit Bishop with. Alright, we'll discard that. And the encounter card is Fear the Future. It says give to the Lucas Bishop player. You may flip to alter ego form, choose exhaust Lucas Bishop, remove fear from Fear the Future from the game, or discard this card and each resource card from your hand. If no resource cards are discarded this way, this card gains Surge. So I don't have any resource cards in my hand. So maybe I just discard it and give it Surge. Or I could flip down. Yeah, you know what I think I'll do is I'm going to flip to alter ego form. So we'll put this obligation out on the table. Yeah, I'm going to flip to alter ego form. And I'm temporarily displaced, which is a response. After you change this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. So yeah, let's go look for a card in our discard pile. I do have 1 temporal card, which is stored energy, so we'll go ahead and bring that to our hand. Alright. And then it says exhaust Lucas Bishop and remove Fear the Future from the game. So we'll just go ahead and exhaust our alter ego form here. And we'll discard Fear the Future. We'll just send it to the victory display so it doesn't come back again. Alright. So that is the end of Juggernaut's turn. I believe I did everything correctly there. Hope so. I thought there was a card somewhere that says whenever he attacks, give him a momentum counter. But I guess I misread that. Okay. All right. So we have Hope Summers, who she only gets thwart an attack from my hero. We've got Sunfire. After you play Sunfire from your hand, spend a energy resource, choose an attachment with the text hero action or hero response, and discard it. Can't do that because I got permanent cards on the table only. And then Malcolm. If I bring out Malcolm, it says discard a resource card from your hand. Ready Malcolm. If that card has a printed fist icon, heal 1 damage from Malcolm, limit once per phase. And I got Bishop's Rifle. I do think I want to get Bishop's Rifle out. Command Authority, probably not. And I would like to try to get Malcolm out. Do I have enough resources to get both of those items out onto the table? So if I spent 3 for Malcolm, no, 2 for the rifle, yeah. And then I can use these 2 for Malcolm. These 2 cards for Malcolm. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip over to my hero form. Oh, it's such a bummer that he's got that retaliate. Ugh, that makes it hard. All right. So we're going to spend some resources to put, and this is an attack action, hero action. Exhaust Bishop's Rifle. Choose an enemy, deal 1 damage to an enemy for each resource card in your hand. That could be really, really tough. Oh, by the way, earlier whenever he attacked me, I didn't use my temporal ability, which is after Bishop takes any amount of damage from attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. Add each resource card discarded this way to your hand. I missed that. That's a big miss right there. That was huge. It's a response. It's a response that I have to remember. It's not a forced response. So, yeah, me not using his ability earlier, that was huge. I probably messed up from that. But hey, that's the way this game is. You got to remember stuff, and we'll just take it. All right, so we're going to spend 2 resources to put out Bishop's Rifle. We'll use the Command Authority and the Honorary Avenger to do that. So we'll discard these. And then now we've got this energy resource in our hand, but I don't know if I want to take 1 for 1. Hope Summers can do some damage. Malcolm. So it has to be a printed resource. Juggernaut takes 1 additional damage from each card with a printed mental resource. So I'm going to put Malcolm out onto the table, and I'm going to spend my stored energy, and I'm going to spend my Sunfire to put him out. I will take 1 consequential damage and 1 retaliate with Malcolm, which is kind of a bummer. But I do need to burn this guy down, so I'm going to do 2 damage into Juggernaut with Malcolm, and we'll give him 1 damage as a result. And then Juggernaut will attack him with Hope Summers, so she's a 2. So yeah, we'll hit him for 2 more. Actually 3 more, or 3, because she does have a mental resource. And I'll take another retaliate on Hope Summers. I can't take 2 more on her. That would end the game quickly. Anyhow, so that's going to end my turn. We're going to advance the phase, turn things over to Juggernaut. Still learning Bishop, man. I got to remember that energy absorption. I have difficulty sometimes remembering triggers like that. Like Spider-Man, I still to this day, and Black Panther, I will miss their triggers whenever they're attacked. So I got to remember that. Let's see what we drew up. So I have a sidearm now, which is attached ally gets +1 attack, and its attack gains ranged. I got Psylocke. I got a stored energy, attack training, and I got the Godslayer in hand. All right. So we'll place 1 threat onto the unstoppable Juggernaut. Juggernaut's going to attack us. He's going to hit us for 2, plus this card here, which is another 1. So he's going to hit us for 3. 1, 2, 3. And let's remember our energy absorption this time. So let's discard this. And we'll discard 3 cards. So here's the first one. Danger Room. Second one. Yarnborn. Third one is Command Authority. So I didn't get any resources on that attack. And he is now going to flatten us, which is, when revealed, choose to either take damage equal to Juggernaut's attack or place 1 momentum counter on him. Let's put a momentum counter on him. Add a momentum counter. Oh, by the way, I should have put 1 more consequential damage on Malcolm over there. Sorry about that. So, when revealed, choose to either take 1 damage equal to Juggernaut's attack or place 1 momentum counter on him. Well, we're going to put a momentum counter on him. Yep, that's what we're going to do. And so we'll discard flatten. And that will end. That will end his turn. Okay, so I can do 2 damage to Juggernaut, which is going to flip him over. And I need to look at my resources in hand. I'm not doing too good here with matching resources. I may have to use my stored energy to match the sidearm and the attack training, which means that I wouldn't be able to pay for Psylocke or the Godslayer. So the question is do I want Juggernaut to flip by himself? And I think the answer to that is yes. Like, let him scheme and flip. Maybe. Maybe that's the right thing to do. I'm not sure. I do know that we need to remove the threat off of the main scheme because I don't want to get attacked in alter ego form. So, if I were to spend some resources here, now I could put an extra to get an additional attack and 2 hit points into Hope Summers, which would be great. Fantastic, by the way. I can also give her a sidearm or Psylocke. And Psylocke enters play with 2 psionic counters on her. Interrupt. When Psylocke attacks an enemy, remove psionic counter from her, confuse that enemy, and deal 1 damage to it. Ooh. Kind of like that idea. Attacks an enemy, remove 1 psionic counter from her, confuse that enemy, and deal 1 damage to it. So if he's damaged and he flips over into Stalwart, that could be a problem too. I think we just maybe heal up. Maybe use this occasion to heal up Bishop and try to get a little better board presence out there. So how many resources do I need to spend? So if I put the Godslayer out, it would cost me 3. And then I could get the attack training out. I think I want to put the attack training onto Hope Summers. We need to give her some additional attack. So I'm going to spend 1 resource, and it's going to be... Oh no. Yeah, if I want to get Psylocke out, that's... Okay. I guess I'm going with the Godslayer. Yep, we'll go with an additional restricted weapon onto Bishop. That's the Godslayer. We're going to spend Psylocke and the stored energy to put that out. So now Bishop's your hero gets +2 for the attack. That doesn't help Hope Summers. And we're going to use the sidearm to pay for the attack training that we're going to put on Hope Summers. Okay, so I need to sort these out a little bit here. And we'll bring that to the front. And Hope Summers is going to remove 2 threat off of the main scheme. Right thing to do, I'm not sure. Remove 2 threat from the main scheme. She doesn't take any consequential for that. No retaliate. I'll just leave Malcolm where he's at for now, because I kind of like what's happening. Right? Yeah, I think I'll leave Malcolm where he's at. I'll just flip Bishop over, and we're going to heal him for 4. And I do get to go find a temporal card in my discard pile when I do that. So all cards, let's find a temporal card, and it's going to be another stored energy that we're going to bring back to our hand. All right, so close the discard pile, and I will end my turn. Advance the phase, turn things over to Juggernaut. Let's see what I got in my hand. Alright, I got the Concussive Blast, which is deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card ready Bishop. I got Energy Conversion, which is a defense card. When enemy attacks, shuffle each resource card in your discard pile in your deck. You cannot take more than 3 damage from the attack. Got some Gold Balls. Gold Balls attacks, discard up to 3 cards on top of your deck. He gets +1 attack for this attack, where X is the number of cards discarded this way. And we got Tempest. Says when a villain would scheme, discard Tempest, cancel that activation, deal yourself 1 face down and counter card. Alright, so we're going to place 1 threat onto, I probably should have knocked him out, is what I probably should have done. That's probably what I should have done. I should have knocked him out because he's going to flip anyway. And now I got to make him flip twice, I think. No, I don't necessarily have to make him flip twice, but he may get a tough card when he does. Yeah, so we're going to place 1 threat on the main scheme. Juggernaut now is going to scheme, and he's going to scheme for 1 + 0. So we only place 1 threat on the main scheme. We are going to flip this. It says force response after Juggernaut schemes. Place 1 momentum counter on Juggernaut and flip this card. So we're going to flip that over, placing 1 momentum counter on him. And the encounter card is... Oh no, Head of Steam. Oh, I hate that. Juggernaut gains X retaliate, where X is the number of momentum counters on Juggernaut. Oh yeah, when reveal, attached Head of Steam to Juggernaut and place 1 momentum counter on him. Hero response: after Juggernaut attacks you, spend 1 resource for each damage dealt by that attack and discard this card. Oof. That is rough. That Head of Steam is probably one of the toughest cards in his deck, and it's difficult to get away from. All right. All right. Let's see what we can do now. We need to do some damage on our turn. We need to knock down this Juggernaut character. All right. So, how about in my alter ego form, Malcolm, as an action, it says that I can discard a resource card from my hand. Ready, Malcolm. If that card has a printed fist icon, heal 1 damage from Malcolm. It's not going to do any good though, because Malcolm's going to be gone. Even if he did heal, he would be defeated. So yeah, we're going to do this. Malcolm is going to attack Juggernaut. I don't think he gained tough. Nothing gave him tough, right? Yeah, he's not tough, so he's going to take 2 damage. And then that is going to cause Juggernaut to be defeated. Do you want to reveal the next sequential stage of the villain deck? Yes, I do. Okay, so he keeps his momentum counters. He has 21 health. It says Juggernaut gets +1 attack for each momentum counter here. Place 1 momentum counter here when revealed. If Juggernaut exposed is in play, flip it. Otherwise, give Juggernaut a tough status card. Okay, so now that's how he gets the tough status card. Add a tough. And place 1 momentum counter here. If Juggernaut exposed is in play, flip it. Otherwise, give Juggernaut a tough status card. Still got to place 1 momentum counter. All right. So there we are. So Juggernaut gets retaliate X, where X is the number of momentum counters. And we got to get the momentum counters off for sure. Yep, that's got to happen. So I am going to, flip over to my hero form. And Hope Summers is going to... No, we're going to use Genius and Tempest. Those 2 cards there. Genius and Tempest to remove the momentum counters from Juggernaut. Yep, that's how we're going to do it. All right, momentum counters are gone because we're going to flip. Spend 3 resources, same type. Remove each momentum counter from Juggernaut and flip this card. All right, so he's flipped now. Juggernaut exposes in play. Discard. Let me see what Head of Steam does again. It says, when revealed, hero response. After Juggernaut attacks you, spend 1 resource for each damage dealt by that attack. Discard this card. So at least he doesn't have any momentum counters on him currently. So that's great. We did attack with Hope Summers, right? No, we didn't attack with her yet. We got gold balls. And we got concussive blast. Deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card ready bishop. That tough status card is tough, by the way. Okay, I got an idea. Instead of let's put gold balls out. When gold ball attacks, discard up to 3 cards on the top of your deck. Gold ball gets plus attack. that would be, I don't know. Okay, when your hero makes a basic attack against, okay, so this Godslayer does not necessarily need to be used right now. So we could use Bishop. 2 attack from Bishop to knock the tough off of Juggernaut. I will need to take a retaliate because of that. And by the way, Malcolm's gone because of the retaliate. Yeah, and consequential damage. All right, so Bishop, he takes 1 damage for knocking the tough off of Juggernaut. Is he going to use the concussive blast now? Kind of like that idea. Concussive blast. Yeah. Concussive blast. We're going to spend energy, stored energy, and we're going to spend the gold balls to do that concussive blast, which says deal 6 damage to enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card, Ready Bishop. So we're going to Ready Bishops. It is an attack, so we're going to hit Juggernaut for 6. Now he's down to 15. We'll discard that card. We're going to hit Bishop again. Now Bishop, we can exhaust him and the Godslayer. When your hero makes a basic attack against a unique enemy, exhaust Godslayer. So I get +2 for that attack. So we're going to put 2 more, 4 more, 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4 into Juggernaut. I'll take 1 more retaliate. So now I'm down to 6. And then Hope Summers, who she is 2 + 1. She's 3 attack. So she's going to do 3 damage to Juggernaut. And that, I believe, is going to... I'm going to put 1 consequential, or put 1 retaliate into her. I think that's going to end my turn. So I will advance the phase. And I will turn things back over to Juggernaut. So Juggernaut's going to place 1 threat on the unstoppable Juggernaut. Juggernaut is going to attack us for 3. It says that Juggernaut attacks. Gets +1 attack for each momentum counter here. And the head of Steam says Juggernaut gains retaliate X, where X is the number of momentum counters on Juggernaut. So didn't have any momentum counters on him right now. And hero response: after Juggernaut attacks you, spend 1 resource for each damage dealt by that attack. Discard this card. Damage dealt, not damage taken. All right. So he's going to attack us. Let's give him a boost. And the energy conversion card is a defense card. It says when an enemy attacks, shuffle each resource card in your discard pile into your deck. You cannot take more than 3 damage from this attack. So yeah, we're going to go find each resource card in my discard pile. All right, let's take a look at the discard pile. And we've got stored energy. We've got a genius card. We've got another stored energy. We have a strength. We have an energy. And are there any more? Doesn't look like it. And so that card energy conversion says when an enemy attacks, shuffle each resource card in your discard pile into your deck. You cannot take more than 3 damage from this attack. I love that idea. All right, so here we go. We're going to place those resource cards, those 5 that we just retrieved, into our deck. Shuffle it up. And we'll close out our discard pile. So we can't take more than 3 damage. So here we go. And it says take 1 indirect damage. So I'm assuming I still need to take that indirect damage. But then it says you cannot take more than 3 damage from this attack. Is that part of the attack? I'm not sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 4 damage. 1 indirect. 3 because of the energy conversion. This says, after Bishop takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. Add each resource card this way to your hand. So when I take one indirect damage, did I put one on Hope Summers earlier? Did I put a retaliate? I don't know if I did. Deals 1 damage to Hope Summers. Yep. Yeah, I added 1 damage to her earlier. So yeah, she's at 3 right now. I hate to add her to 4. But the indirect damage would happen before the damage is dealt, right? So I actually took 4 damage as a result of the attack because one of it's indirect. Unless you cannot take more than 3 damage from this attack. I guess the indirect damage, if I absorb that, then I just have to take 2 more. So yeah, I'm just going to keep myself at 3. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to discard 3 cards. So we got 1, there's an energy. We get to bring that into our hand. We got 2, which is the power of aggression. We get to bring that into our hand. And 3 is an attack training. We don't get to bring that one into our hand. So just 3 damage is what we're taking because that's all that I am allowed to take. No more than 3 damage from this attack. If anyone knows any differently, if indirect damage is part of the attack or not, in the case of this Bishop card, please let me know in the comments down below. So we'll discard energy conversion. We took our 3 damage. We're going to discard ground pound because that was the boost. And now we are to our, okay, is there anything else that I missed here? No. So here we go. Next card is the breakthrough. It says choose, take damage equal to Juggernaut's attack, which would be terrible right now, or discard the highest cost upgrade or support you control. That would be the Godslayer. And I think we can live without it. Yeah, we'll live without the Godslayer. All right, there we go. So we're going to put breakthrough. We're going to discard that. Okay, here we go. Hope Summers, she can still do, let's see, 2 + 1. She can still do 3 damage to Juggernaut. And I think that's what we're going to do. So Hope Summers is going to hit Juggernaut for 3, which knocks him down to 5. Oh, no, she hits him for 4, right? Because of that, because he's still flipped. Juggernaut is still exposed, so she does 4 damage. Okay. And so he's down to 4. I've got Bishop's Rifle. How many? I don't have enough resource cards in my hand. Yeah. I could use the Concussive Blast. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. I do need to put 1 retaliate there. So we're going to use the Concussive Blast. We're going to spend 3 resources. We're going to spend energy. And we'll spend the sidearm, or the side holster, to deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card ready Bishop. He's already ready, but we're going to do 6 damage into Juggernaut, which is going to knock him all the way down to 0. So if I played this correctly, and I didn't make any glaring mistakes, it looks like we took down Juggernaut using aggression. Bishop and X-Men aggression is what I went with lots of ally support. So we have the ally training. We had some honorary Avengers in there. We had all X-Men, or I'm sorry, honorary X-Men. We had a bunch of X-Men in here, and I never did shoot with Bishop's Rifle, mainly because I didn't have that many resources in my hand, and I didn't want to take a retaliate because it is an attack action, hero action. So I never did see the special, which says discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Maybe if we can go look and see if there's any cards in the Juggernaut deck that calls for that special, and it would be likely the, let's see. Yeah, it says when revealed, resolve the special ability on the setting environment. Okay, so that was the pterosaur that could have triggered that. If the Savage Land is in play, resolve its special ability. So Land Out of Time would have been one. Another one, when defeated, each player resolves a special ability on the setting environment. So there are some cards that would work with that setting, but I definitely had to work around it because of that retaliate. And that retaliate's what did more damage, I think, than anything else. I did miss a trigger earlier in the game. I missed his ability. Energy absorption response. After Bishop takes any amount of damage from attack, discard cards and add resource cards to your hand this way. You know, that could be good or could be bad. If you whiff and you took a lot of damage, you are cycling through your deck pretty quickly. So it's something that you really want to kind of think about. You probably want to use it most of the time, especially if you think that you've got several resources in your deck over there. But probably not always. You know, it just kind of depends. Depends on how much damage you take and so forth. So, very interesting hero. I don't know. Is he easy to play or is he hard to play? You definitely got to think about, you know, where you're tracking your resources when you're playing with Bishop if you want to try to get the most use out of him. So, but he does, you know, I really like him. You know, I haven't got a chance to play very much with the other hero that came in the Age of Apocalypse Magic. Haven't played with her maybe once against Rhino. Bishop is the one that I tend to reach for and want to play with whenever I want to play a game. So far that's the one I'm enjoying the most. I do like Juggernaut. Seems like he's not overly difficult, but sometimes he can run out of control, and I'm surprised that Head of Steam didn't cause me more problems than it did. I think we flipped it all at the right time. So anyway, hey, thanks for watching my video today. I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me on Twitch live, or you can catch me. I post videos on YouTube. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and we hope to bring you another video again very soon. Thanks for watching, everybody, and take care.